Human trafficking is the use of force, fraud, or coercion to compel a person into commercial sex acts. This also deals with labor services as well. And for the most part, it's using those force, fraud, or coercion for that person to engage in those acts, sometimes against their will. But when it comes to juveniles, that's not always the case. Juveniles, because they are juveniles, cannot be involved in commercial sex or cannot agree to be in commercial sex. Therefore, the law stipulates that a juvenile is not one of those requirements in terms of force, fraud, or coercion. It's just a simple engagement of commercial sex.
Project Fight, we serve all 100 counties of North Carolina, and we provide comprehensive case management services from identification, which means pretty much wherever law enforcement or healthcare providers identify a potential victim, all the way through to restoration. So our services can last a couple hours, or they can last a year or more, depending on each person's needs. And we assist them with everything you need to kind of walk that journey.
Human trafficking can affect anyone, anybody who's in a vulnerable population. If you look at your neighbor, they can find themselves involved in human trafficking. It just depends on the circumstances that present them in life. And sometimes it deals with drug addiction. Sometimes it deals with just the need for money, and there can be various reasons for that. There can be obviously the use of drugs to obtain drugs, or just the fact that they are homeless, and then they could find themselves involved with an individual who is using them for gaining money.
You know, there's not one group that would be typical of being trafficked. I think there's that misconception a lot of times that only people from other countries are trafficked, or people are here illegally and they're the ones being trafficked. It doesn't happen within our community. Human trafficking is not it doesn't discriminate, doesn't care what you look like, where you come from, what kind of money you have, what kind of community you live in. Anyone can be a victim of trafficking.